All right, well, thank you, everyone. This is our final webinar of this series. We've come a long way. For those that have followed along from the beginning, we've started on this left side, and we've really worked all our way through as many tools as we could kind of touch, skipping over some here and there. But the final tool that has been added is this idea of being able to generate a report, right? And reporting is one of those things that, as an engineer, I think we can all agree it takes a lot of time, and B, from an engineering standpoint, is only a very minimal value add, right? So we don't really get all that much out of having of generating PowerPoint reports or those type of things. I understand certification documents may be a little different. They're still kind of dull but important. A manager creating a report is kind of blah. So I wanted to cover some of the report tools that we have within HyperWorks that can allow us to do this, and we'll get started. The first one that I like to point out are these predefined reports. So under this report ribbon, there's two over here that's a predefined report. The first one is a session report. So this one is great if you have what we call a session within HyperWorks, which is a little bit of pre-processing, a little bit of post-processing, some contours, some graphs, essentially this idea of using HyperWorks as a workbook. That's what a session would do. And all that this really does is just goes and takes screenshots of each one of those pages, right? So I don't have a session. I haven't set that up. And I'd really like some more detailed information about the actual model. Okay, if that makes sense. So this model summary is going to be another predefined report. It's a simple click. You have three options for output. And we say presentation and document, not to be specific to a particular brand, because this can also work for more open source tools. It doesn't have to be your Microsoft PowerPoint or Microsoft Word. This can be more open source, but you can kind of see all the things that are going to be done. It'll give us unit systems, standard views, so it's going to take a bunch of pictures of the model. If I had composites, it'll do ply orientations, material summary. It's going to just be a big list of stuff, to be honest. And I'll go ahead and just export this. I'll do HTML, is perfectly fine. But it's kind of this idea of a one-click report, right? So this one-click report, it's going to go through all this. You're seeing my screen, flash and take pictures, and down at the bottom left, it's making a bunch of tables. So it's compiling, a list of all the parts, their material, their property, their center of gravity, their mass, all of this stuff. So kind of a one-click operation will allow you to generate this report, and this report will open up. It's HTML, so for me, probably in Chrome, as soon as it's done. And this takes about a minute or so. But this is really nice for just one-click type of thing. And there you see there were check boxes in there for, you could add or subtract items that you do or do not want in this report. But this is kind of fine for a standard, real quick and dirty report. The next thing that you can do is, if you want to spend a little more time and make a more customizable report, you can certainly do that. And that's what all of the rest of these tools are going to have us do. Okay. So I was kind of waiting for this report to finish and open up. I think it should open. 99% of the time it opens, but I guess we could go back and see where it is, where it's saved to. Usually it's my documents is where it saves to, but I have a feeling it's still compiling. But what we can actually do is we can go and create a new report. It can be a PowerPoint or a Word document. So I'll select this. And this is going to open up a new browser in which I can kind of define this. And the browser is kind of nice because it allows you to set up chapters and have a little more interactiveness. No, it's still doing some picture stuff. Sorry. So it's still doing its report. But what we can do is on this report, this is kind of nice because you can come and pick a working directory. Okay, well, here's my HTML report. So here's my HTML report. So like I said, pictures, 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 lots of information about center of gravity, bounding box information, properties, counts, components. This is going to be a list of parts, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Element IDs. So again, just really kind of out of the box generic stuff. Plots, element criteria, pictures. So pretty basic stuff. Now you'd want your customized reports. Okay, so within here, this can be, like I said, your company specific PowerPoint template. So if you work at a Boeing or a Lockheed or anything like that, you want the little symbol in the bottom and all of the fun jets shooting everywhere. You can have that. But really where this starts to come into play, and I'm usually a Word document person, so I like to make a Word report, because to me chapters going to be an image. I'm just going to take this picture, so you see where this thing comes. You can say caption. What do you want the caption to be? This kind of overview. And then if I would like to see a preview of this, I can always execute these individual actions, right? So I can see, this is the picture that's going to be stuffed into my report. So it does the white background, it does all of the things that you'd like it to do. Not only here, I'd like to just add some text. It says, this is my introduction report to this part. Okay. Copy and paste. You can put whatever words you would like in this. Okay, so simple stuff like that. I don't think that's, this isn't revolutionary, right? So let's come and add a new chapter. But what is revolutionary is all of those, that this one-click report essentially had a bunch of automation in it, right? For creating tables and reports and templates. And all of that is in what we call modules, right? And so that could just be something like model information. So maybe I'd like a material summary, right? So give me the material kind of tables for all of these. I have all of the options for them. Once again, if I'd like, I can run this to see what this table looks like. Okay. View these tables. There's separate tables for my composites, for my linear statics, and then there's an overview. Okay. I can add in new modules as well. Model information for component summary, which is, I think, just a list of all of the components, materials, masses, and inertias, those different types of things. Okay. I can come in and add external references. So anytime I need an Excel document, so sometimes you have a list of abbreviations you want to put in, you can just reference an external Excel document. That's fine. But I'm going to add this next chapter. And this next chapter is where I realized that I don't have any results for this, that I would like to actually do some results. So pardon me for 1 second. Let me open up a new model here. Because where this really gets into play, that this will save you tons and tons and tons of time, is this idea of being able to loop over multiple result file and automatically capture screenshots of contours with notes and that type of stuff. So obviously for that, you need a model that's been run and has results. Of course you do, because I didn't do that. I have a little presentation, but I'm kind of blanking on where it is. Oh man, we're gonna have to skip over this part in the YouTube video. I am looking for. That's not it. Okay, well, I guess bear with me here. I can add a new chapter. I'm going to call this chapter my results. Okay. And within this chapter, I'm going to add this module. You probably see this option for results. You're like, that's wonderful. That's exactly what I'd like. I'd like to be able to loop results. Okay. And just to kind of point out some of the options here, right? So this idea of looping results will allow us to loop over particular parts if we so choose, loop over particular load cases, or we can do all of the load cases. We can exclude any parts, types, sets, those different types of things. And we also have this fun option for looping over hotspots as well. So this will automatically find the region in which the stress or the displacement, whatever the contour that you're looking at is the highest, and it will allow you to do that. So this loop results is quite nice, but one of the pitfalls that everyone falls into with this loop results is they would go ahead and say, run this, and it only provides a table, right? So just a list of all of your load cases and all of the results thereof. Pretty sure that this can actually run. That is to go and actually run this. I just want to get some results is what I really would like to share with you today. But one of the pitfalls about this is that the card reference stack is I just give all these the same property, which I know is a bit silly, but it's where we're at in our life right now. One of the key things that you need to add to this loop results is a picture. Okay, and the interesting thing about this picture is it's going to be, you'll see it's going to be per component as well as say per subcase. Okay. All right, so I have some results here. Let me come and add a new page with my results. These results are going to make no sense, by the way, so please don't judge me on what the results are. It's purely for the sake of getting something to show. Let me go ahead. So this is now Hyperview. Let me go ahead and load in my results. Just around this H3D file should be fine. Perfect. Again, pay no attention to the craziness that has ensued, but let's go ahead and apply a displacement constraint or a displacement contour. Okay, again, this part was not constrained properly, but that's fine. So the results will allow us to loop per load case as well as per component, okay, which I think is very important, right? So this ability to loop on the second page on this first window, once again, it will create a note. So the maximum of a contour, if you would like it to create a note, it certainly can. It will do this per system. And you can also define thresholds as well, which is quite nice. So if the displacement is, say, 2.8 e to the 4, that probably violates your threshold regardless of whatever units you're in. So this is kind of important as well, right? This idea of looping per load case as well as per component. So now when I go and run this, right, this is going to loop over all the parts. It's going to put in a note with the maximum of that. And even though this is done graphically, this can be done in batch mode. So this doesn't have to be something that you have to stare at. This can run in the background. But again, even if you do have to stare at this, this is only, maybe a minute of staring versus, the entire time that this would have taken you in order to generate a picture per component or per part per load case. And this only had one load case, by the way, but that's okay. So this idea of looping results is probably the most powerful thing that the report generator allows you to do. And once we've set all this up, right, so these can be results based on displacement. That's another kind of thing here as well, is this ability to, the subchapter, would like to put it up here. You'll need a chapter like this is kind of a static loop, right? So if I would like pictures of displacements and also pictures of stresses and also pictures of, say, 1D forces and moments, I need to have a page for each one of those, but then the automation is identical, right? So you didn't, nowhere in this picture does it say which contour do you want to loop over. It's just going to kind of do a screen grab of whatever is on each page or each section that you allow it to look at. Okay. The final thing to note here is that all of this can now be saved, okay, as a report template. Okay. So even though I did this on crazy model A, this idea of reporting expands greatly. Almost had to sneeze. To any product, right? You would like to be able to swap out, product A for B, B for C, C for D, and continue to run this. And that's what exporting a template will allow us to do, right? So I can go save this as a report template, and just quickly show you that you can save this as a report template. So I will save this to, where is this? My documents, that's fine. So this will be my generic results report .tpl. Okay. And then when I would like to, yes, I know that will discard all my data. When I'd like to open up a template, I can go ahead and grab this. And what this is going to say is, well, why don't you pick a model for me and pick any result files necessary? And I'm just going to plug in that model and that result file to all of the places where it's applicable here. Okay, so I can hit load, and it's going to go ahead and do that as well. So obviously setting up the report the first time will take some time in order to get it right. But now you have the ability to just save that as a template, point to a new part, hit run. Point to a new part, hit run, point to a new part, hit run. And that report structure is going to be in here for you. Okay. So reporting, I think, is one of the underrated tools that we can do within HyperWorks. Apologize for my session here. I'm going to redo this, and I'll have a better demo example. Completely forgot about results reporting, which is like the most important thing that you can do with this reporter. With that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. Again, I have a few more sessions coming up, but they do have to be re-signed up for. I believe they're on the community page or WebEx. I will probably send out an email to the list of people that have registered for this event. But the idea is to continue these on, to infinity, possibly. I got lots of more stuff to talk about, and always happy to take questions and suggestions. So with that, I'll stop the recording.